Editor's note: the below interview contains spoilers for Season 4 of Stranger Things.From creators the Duffer Brothers. The fourth season of Stranger Things wrapped up with what could only be described as the beginning of the end, literally, as our intrepid gang of heroes looked on while the town of Hawkins cracked open and the power of Vecna, Campbell Bower, and his minions from the Upside Down decisively started to leech out into reality. Although the showdown between Vecna and 11, Millie Bobby Brown, was ultimately a triumph for the good guys, it seems as though the big bad of not just the season, but the entire show, is only down, not completely out, and the battle didn't come without some big losses in the process. One of them turned out to be none other than Hellfire founder and Hawkins' misunderstood bad boy Eddie Munson, Joseph Quinn, who sacrificed himself in a devastating moment worthy of inclusion in any D&D campaign, much to the despair of Dustin, Gade and Matarazzo. Although the town of Hawkins still believes Eddie to be mainly responsible for the chaos caused early on in the season, Dustin has made all efforts to quietly brand his friend a hero. Collider video of the day. On the heels of Season 4's final 2 episodes dropping on Netflix, Collider had the chance to speak with Quinn about his role on the series, as well as when he first learned about what Eddie's fate would be by the finale. Over the course of the interview, which you can either watch above or read below, Quinn also spoke about learning to play Metallica for his character's iconic scene, and how that song choice was always in the script, even if it's not always his hands shown in that performance. Additionally, the actor talked about bringing a fraternal love to life on screen with Matarazzo and how he'd love to return for the show's 5th and final season. Collider: I feel like it must be a bit of a relief too, now that the remainder of the season's out, you can actually talk about everything, as opposed to having to keep zipped lips on spoilers. Joseph Quinn: well, I guess we've been settled in for a while. So it's nice to have it all out there, definitely. But that does bring me to my first question for you, which is, at what point in the production did you personally learn about Eddie's fate and what would happen? Quinn: during the pandemic, I got a couple of texts from the Duffer Brothers asking if I play guitar, and then we got the scripts for episodes 7, 8 and 9 just before we started back. So I knew his fate before we started filming, really. Was it a case of something that was kept from any of the other cast for a while? Or did you pretty much find out when they all found out? Quinn: I think we all found out at the same time. I don't think there was any kind of secrets or anything. No one was keeping anything from anyone. Yeah, we all knew. I'm glad you brought up the playing guitar thing, because that does bring me to one of my favorite moments for Eddie in these last 2 episodes, which is the scene where he plays the guitar to attract the Demobats away from Vecna, so they can orchestrate that whole plan. Did you have to learn guitar for that scene? I'm curious as to how much you had to do for that. Quinn: it was a combination of both, really. I played guitar since I was very young, so I was lucky that I had a foundation there. But as I said, when I read the scripts, the next morning I went out and bought a guitar and manically started learning Master of Puppets. On the day, me and Gaten just got up on top of the camper van, and just got into it. It was very fun. I played most of it. We got a kind of black belt metal guitarist to come in and do the solo because I'm a human being. It's very fast, but the rest of it, I tried my best to understand that. It was very fun. So that song was in the script from the beginning. They knew what song they wanted for that moment, so you knew how to prep specifically for that tune? Quinn, it was always that song. It was like everything in this season. I think they knew what they wanted and how they were going to do it, and they executed it brilliantly. One thing that really struck me about these last 2 episodes for your character, specifically, Eddie and Dustin's friendship really reaches a meaningful point for both of them, but Terry's an obvious way to those scenes too, as we see later. But these are scenes that we just get to see you and Gaten together, performing and really giving your all. Did you do anything on set in between those moments to really break up the tension or lighten the mood? Or did you just go into it and let yourself really feel the heaviness? Quinn, we definitely weren't taking it home with us or anything. It's a scene like any other scene. There's a kind of depth there that isn't there most days when you're at work. But no, I don't think we were doing anything in between takes to make sure that we got there or anything. We just kind of got on with it. I think the results speak for themselves, but I really enjoyed getting to see the two of you have more of those moments of emotional poignancy. The fact that you see these two friends who were able to say that they love each other in that moment, and Terry's something really meaningful to that the show can show platonic love between these two guys in the sense that it really hits home. Quinn, I think there are all different kind of flavors of love, and I think men sometimes struggle to talk about that. I personally have definitely had older people, guys in my life who I admired and definitely had this kind of fraternal love towards, and I felt that from them too. That's what me and Gaten wanted to convey with our storyline really, so I'm glad that came across. I know that you've gone on record as saying that you would love to come back for season 5, but that was also before we found out about a certain fate for Eddie. But even with that in mind, I feel like there still could be some possibility. So, provided you got the call, would you be in for showing up for one more season? Quinn, I don't know how they'd do it, but yeah, I'd love to come back. It feels like his fate might be pretty, it speaks for itself, I think. But if there was a world in which I could kind of be a fly on the wall or something, I don't know. My suspicion is that they've got enough characters to grapple with at the moment, so I think they might have got what they needed out of Eddie, but it was a pleasure to be here, even if it was only for one season. I personally would make a pitch for Eddie as Dustin's Force Ghost or something. Quinn, I was thinking something like that, like his conscience or something. It'd be quite funny. Stranger Things Season 4 is now available to stream on Netflix. Read more about Stranger Things Season 4. Stranger Things creators explain the duality of Will's speech to Mike in Episode 8. Stranger Things creators explain why, spoiler, had to die. Star Wars was a major inspiration on the Stranger Things Season 4 finale, the Duffer Brothers say.